But there's been a lot of stuff going on in the past couple of days, as you, everybody probably knows by now that the president spoke on Tuesday night, and um, I have to congratulate the Democrats. You set out 4 years ago when Joe Biden got elected that you were going to unify the country, and finally you guys did, and I want to applaud you for that because you have unified the country in a way that I don't think you really wanted to, but you have united the country because the actions of the Democrats the other night were more than despicable, unprofessional, uncivilized, and just flat out rude. And I'll explain in a minute why I feel that way. The I don't care what your political ideologies are. I don't care what side of the aisle you root for. But obviously, TDS is alive and well right now, and it was on full display on Tuesday night. And I'm going to start by saying that the first indication that this was not going to go well for the Democrats was that when Donald Trump had said something about the the hostages in Gaza and acknowledged the families and the loss of their families and human life over there and that kind of thing, and made a comment about that. Um, the Republican side obviously clapped and were enthusiastic about it. And from the Democrat side, it was crickets. A little further along, he mentioned something about the Lincoln Riley episode and several other incidents that have happened with immigrants being here, illegal migrants being here, um, and killing, an innocent young lady, and acknowledging families and for their loss and uh, sympathizing with them. And again, the Republicans acknowledged, were gracious about it, and from the left side, nothing but crickets. They sat on their hands. You had early on in the speech that you had a congressman making an ass out of himself, that he physically had to be removed. Again, unprofessional. And I hear today that he's been sanctioned for his actions, and rightfully so. But it gets better. And, again, the Democrats showed their true colors. Um, when Donald Trump said something about a young man that had suffered from and has recovered from brain cancer, and all he ever wanted to do was be a Secret Service man to protect the president. Well, Donald Trump made him a honorary member of the Secret Service, and he got a badge. He was grateful. He was happy as all get out, as you could tell. And again, what happened? Standing ovation from the Republican side, from the Democrat side. Not even there were people actually staring at their phones and texting, not giving a shit about this poor kid. Now, I'm sorry. I don't care what Democrat, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a communist, I don't give a shit. Okay. The fact that this kid suffered and beat cancer, got a wish that he wanted to have, and you can't celebrate that, that just shows me that you have every, there is no sense in your brains. You have such a disdain for Trump that you can't even give him an iota of credit for doing that. Same thing when you go look at the young man that he wants to be serve in the military and serve this great country, and Donald Trump got him into West Point. The kid was elated. All he wants to do is serve. His father served, and from what I understand, his father went to West Point, and you can't even give that kid the satisfaction that you are with him and standing behind him. I mean, it is absolutely despicable the way you folks handled. So, yeah, you did bring the country together, but not the way you want. Everybody I've talked to on both sides of the aisles, okay? Everybody I've talked to have said the same thing. It was disgusting. It was immature. It was childish. It was everything but American. And I'm sorry, but you know what? You guys are going to have a tough, tough fucking time trying to dig your hole out of that. All you want to do is blame Donald Trump for everything. Everything is Donald Trump. If it was anybody else, you guys would have been up and down. But because it's Donald Trump, you don't want to give him 1 ounce or 1 inch of anything. And not for nothing, I'm not a fan. I'm not defending Trump. But in this case, I'm going to give him a win. 5-0 for him. Because he did 5 things that I thought was very presidential. He wasn't making a big fanfare out of it. He was acknowledging the fact what people are thinking. And all you do is sit on your hands. That is just, and what is with the fucking little placards and everybody wearing pink? I mean, come on. What are we, 12 years old? We're going to hold up little banners and saying, "Oh, I don't like what you're doing. Hey, look at me. I'm protesting you because come on. You're supposed to be leading this country. You're supposed to be making things better, which is what he's trying to do. And all you want to do is chop him down. You've lied to us for 4 fucking years that Biden was as fit as a fiddle. He was running circles around everybody in the White House. In the meantime, all we see on the news is he's falling off of steps. Can't ride a bicycle. Can't remember what he's talking about. Can't remember what he said. He was talking to dead people. I mean, come on. And you, don't believe what you see. You know what? The American public is fed up with you guys. Okay, you locked everybody up for 3.5 years. Then then Biden takes credit for bringing back 100 million jobs. Well, you know what? 90 million of those jobs came back only because everybody was let out of their houses and were allowed to go back to work. Had nothing to do with creating jobs. They just reinstated the jobs that were already there. But yeah, you want everybody to believe this. Oh, we're looking out for your best interest. No, you're not. Okay? The adults in this world don't need to be told how to behave, what to do, what to say, how to say it. But yet you seem to think that it's your obligation to be the moral mantle of the entire country. Okay? Not for nothing, but no. You guys, you talk about Donald Trump being, a convicted felon. You know how many in the past several years Democrats are convicted felons and still holding office? Just ask Mr. Menendez. I mean, he stepped down because he was forced out eventually because he had 3 indictments and he was still getting elected. What about Marion Barry? Okay, he was literally in jail and got reelected. That's the mentality. So if it's not a Democrat, then it's no good. If you don't agree with them, it's no good. Just ask Eric Adams in New York. Okay, he decided he was going to work with Trump on the ICE issue and getting the bad guys out, and all of a sudden now he's firing. Everybody's firing off about him having to resign, and he's not good for New York anymore. And look, again, I'm not a major fan of him. He was an ex-cop. I thought he would have done more on the crime and stuff like that. But the point of the matter is that now, because he's decided he's going to ally with Trump on getting the bad guys out of here, you guys are all against him. When Menendez got indicted and convicted, he turned around and he said exactly what Trump said. Hey, this is a kangaroo court. It's corrupt. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be this. Again, but you're not yelling and screaming about that. But when Trump says it, it's a bad thing. Get over it. I'm not a fan. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Okay? But there are things that he is doing that I agree with. I don't agree with the way he's saying it. I don't agree necessarily with the way he's approaching it, but the ideas that he's doing, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Doge going in and looking to see where my money has gone. The money I've been paying over the past 40 years or 50 years, as long as I've been working, the taxes that get taken out. And the same thing with you, and the same thing with my neighbor, the same thing with my wife, and the same thing with my aunts and uncles and my kids and their kids. We pay them a salary to make sure our money is spent properly, not on some fantasy land in freaking Islam countries that hate us, and we want to make a Sesame Street thing, or we want to put Big Bird on their map. I mean, come on, I don't get it, and you guys are having problems with that. Maybe, just maybe, you're having a problem with it because you're trying to fucking hide something. Usually, the people that make the most noise are the most guilty. Okay, there is an expression, and I said it in my last one of my last videos. Thou dost protest too much. That means you are fucking guilty as sin. So what are you afraid of? Do you really need that $1,000 warming toilet seat? AOC, do you really need that bidet that vibrates so you can get off during the day? I mean, come on. It's like, it's ridiculous. And yet you're complaining that we need more money. Well, where the fuck are you going to get it from? Bernie Sanders comes out and says, oh, well, Trump is catering to the billionaires. In the meantime, Bernie, guess what? You're one of the 1%. Are you paying your fair share? Are any of you guys paying your fair share? I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, but you really screwed that one up. You screwed the pooch when it comes to what you did on Tuesday night. It was appalling. And it's really difficult for anybody to look at that and say it's anything but un-American. I don't care how hardened of a person, put your politics aside for a minute, okay? Just look at the human side. What human being does that? That you can't cheer for a kid who beat brain cancer, or a young man that wants to serve this country and gets to go to West Point. That's just plain humanity. And obviously you have no souls. And that is just despicable. I'm sorry, but I can't say it any other way. And I don't care who sees this. And if you don't agree with me, oh well. You're right lumped in then. And I'm sorry, I have a lot of friends on both sides of the aisles, and I don't think there's one that I've talked to recently since Tuesday night that doesn't agree that what you displayed on Tuesday night was totally uncalled for and totally un-American and childish and petulant and any other adjective you want to use to describe it. But it was not good. However you want to put it, it was not good. And you guys, unfortunately, the Democrat Party is going to pay for it. So yeah, because the latest poll I saw is after that display, people are thinking that Trump is 68%. He has a 68 percentage of that. The country feels that he is doing a better job than Biden. And 25% of the people think that the Democrats are doing the right thing. That means you guys are in a pretty big hole. And you better think about it if you want to try to gain back, the Congress and the Senate in 2 years. Because what you did then, you want to think that people have short memories. No, we don't. We're not that stupid. We fell for it once when you tried to lock us up for 3 years during the pandemic and COVID, telling us, oh, we can't communicate with other people. We can't go out. We're not allowed to socialize. We have to stay away from each other, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? How'd that work out? Now you got a bunch of idiots running around that don't know how to converse with each other. and people are so panicked. You got hell breaking out all over the place because nobody's getting held accountable for their actions. And I hope that they're going to take you to task in 2 years when they go to the polls and they don't forget about that incident when you just sat on your hands when a little kid, a young man, and a little kid got what they were hoping for, and you just sat by and just did nothing. No acknowledgement whatsoever that that was a good thing. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. And if you like what you've been hearing, I encourage you to continue to listen. Tell your friends about it. If you don't like what I said, tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you don't agree with. I'm not. Oh, I'm not opposed to getting any kind of criticism. I know one or two people out there that are going to make silly remarks about oh, this is too funny, or silly stuff like making laughing emojis or whatever the case may be. I know there's a couple of people out there that'll do that, and that's okay. I don't care. That's your opinion. I don't care. Okay. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you my opinion. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully it's entertaining enough and it's done in a humorous way. But today, just I needed to get it out because it really bothered me. I didn't watch it live on Tuesday. I watched it yesterday on video. I had it taped because I'm a hockey fan, and my wife and I watched the hockey game, which turned out to be a little disappointing, but that's neither here nor there. But I just wanted to make my point heard about the fact that what the Democrats did was just unacceptable. And anyway, let's hope that we can all somehow or another bring ourselves together in a better way, and look forward to hopefully having the its current administration do what he says he's going to do and make the country better for all of us. And you know, that's all we can hope for. And I'm certainly not one that's going to root against the president, even though I didn't vote for him. I'm cheering him on to do the right thing for all of us because that's the only way we're ever going to survive. In the meantime, God bless you all. God bless America. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Cheers.